gone through hell to get to this point, not just individually, but like, humans in general. And this idea that if we hope it will come is neat. But like in practice, when you've been doing your very best, when you've been working your fucking ass off and you've done everything that you're supposed to do, but yet all of these things you're manifesting and dreaming and desiring aren't here, waiting for it doesn't help. It doesn't feel good. It certainly doesn't reinforce any faith or hope in what it is that you're doing and creating. And patience doesn't feel like a virtue. It's not a virtue. Delayed gratification doesn't put food on your table, doesn't put a roof over your head. And today, tonight, this morning, in this moment, we want the things we've worked really hard for and, dare I say, deserve. I know that word can be a little bit debatable for people, like who's to say what anyone deserves or why I would deserve something more than you. And I think that comes from the fact there's this sense that if I deserve it, then you don't. All of this is just outdated fear programming to get you to do a thing. Internalized, externalized. The struggles that we tend to experience like in society and in connection with others kind of all come from the fact that if I have something, that means you don't. And I don't know where the fuck that came from. We've all been in situations where we don't feel like we have access to the very things that we need to survive. And that is fucking terrifying. I'm speaking generally in terms of this concept that like, I work really hard, I have goals, I'm doing my best, why haven't I achieved them yet, right? Our brains were not designed to cope with delayed gratification. Like if we didn't eat, we died. If we didn't drink water, we died. If we weren't in community with others, like we most likely would die. But yet we're afraid of not having these things to the point where we make these detrimental decisions in the moment that are knee-jerk reactions to the fact that we're experiencing a delay in our reward. Delayed gratification, it is a phrase that makes suffering sound delightful. Denial sound doable, even desirable. And here's the thing, it can be, but it's not what you think. So how do you keep yourself from an immediate win in order to invest in a long-term gain? How do you learn to trust this will all work out, even when everything sucks right now? I'm going to go through some steps to support you in growing your delayed gratification muscle. It's not the result that we seek. It's not why we go to the gym or why we take on the new job or set seemingly impossible metrics and targets for ourselves. We're not doing this to get like ripped or to get rich. Like this is about our own satisfaction and our own ability to celebrate our success in the moment, especially when we are losing, especially when things are hard, when we feel defeated. The fact that you showed up or even attempted the damn thing can actually be the gratification without delay. We can get so focused on these end results or these metrics or these goals that feel out of our control. And then when they haven't been achieved, we tell ourselves we're failing because we're literally having autonomic response to survive. So it does take practice. It does take an understanding that by overextending, overcommitting, being ambitious, we are saying like, yo, this thing's gonna take a minute. Am I okay with that? Am I willing to continue to step this out? And how can I know that at least the next step I take is successful? So how do we start to really invest in the short-term gains so that we get to the long-term investment? How can I approach this differently? And that I think is the final question to really ask yourself. What do I really love? What does make me feel really good? When am I doing my best? How can I apply that energy, those feelings, those thoughts to this thing that feels really hard? I guarantee you have overcome and achieved incredible things. They probably felt pretty easy for you, or you take them for granted now and you forget how hard it was in the beginning. It's those same skills, the willingness to learn, the willingness to try, the willingness to step it out. And then, of course, the 2020 hindsight in terms of how long it actually took you to get to this place where it's just second nature. You don't even remember how hard it was to learn that thing. those are the skills you can apply in this instance to keep going and to not think about it in terms of delayed gratification. Like, you have the opportunity to gratify and satiate and celebrate yourself in every single moment.